Blessings, my beautiful souls. I'm looking a bit haggard. I've done back-to-back late nights, just content creating for Patreon lately. I've had a few computer issues and I've had to purchase a new computer. Oh, it's been like one of those. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's been one of those times. I mean, I've been staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, starting at 6 going in the morning, going all the way to the 2 o'clock in the morning the next day, like massive days. It was my little girl's birthday, my youngest baby girl's birthday yesterday. She's turned 6 and she's with her dad at the moment, so I didn't get to spend the full day with her, but I saw her in the morning and I bought a little helium balloon and a little prezzy and gave her cuddles like first thing in the morning. Like, I was up so late and I had my alarm set, and I swear every time that alarm went off, it was like, it was stabbing me. It was crazy. I was so tired, but I dragged myself out, got myself ready, jumped in the car, drove straight over there. And I was like, happy birthday. And it's her birthday party this weekend. And then I was having all this issue with my computer and stuff like that. So it's made me feel very hangman connected. We're studying the hangman through Esoteric Evolution, which is the self-paced tarot course that I'm doing over on Patreon. And this has been very hangman experience. Precisely the type of experience that I was talking about in my recent hangman video over there. And I was like, okay, so I need to stop and then reassess. And so this is me stopping to reassess to make some changes. And I wanted to discuss that with you. So first and foremost, I have gotten a little bit more serious about video making here on YouTube, and I've decided that I want to add great value to my YouTube channel rather than it just being an unboxing channel. So if you have noticed my last 2 updates, you will notice that one was about how to activate your psychic and intuitive abilities, which I loved to make. And these are topics that are very, very much connected to my heart, like things that I've always wanted to talk about, but never quite knew how to do it. So I made the decision to sit down and plan out my videos, which is something that I've never done before, and to try to jam as much information into them as I possibly can, which is to me the type of video that I personally like to see. I like to see like fun and, vlog style videos as well, but there is just something about, YouTube that makes me come back to it. And for the sheer value that it adds, whether entertainment or educational or whatever, or comedic for that matter. So I just wanted to add more value to my channel, and I am doing that right now. So with that said, it is taking longer for me to create videos. It takes me a while to, put all my thoughts down on paper. And the way that I think is in like 3 parts. Some of you may be able to understand what I'm talking about, but I come through and I lay out a vague idea of what I want the video to be, and off the top of my head I rattle off some facts, and then I organize them into a cohesive form. Then I go off and then I just naturally marinate over it while I'm doing other things, and then that's a good point to add that I didn't think of, that's a good point to add that I didn't think of, and so on and so forth. So then I go back and I add all of this juicy information, and then I wait a little bit, and then I come through with that, kind of just that final, overview, and think, are there any holes to be filled here in information? But I also want to make sure that the videos don't go too long. So it's a planning process that now takes 3 days, as opposed to me going, I feel like making a video, so I might just make a video right now, which is fine if I'm doing an unboxing. There's not too much involved in an unboxing. I get the box, I'm like, wee, I do an unboxing. And that's fantastic. But I wanted to, hello to everyone who's here. I wanted to just reassess that a little bit. Oh, that's beautiful. Sorry, I'm looking at this. Look at this. Oh, I just got my owl crate today and my Illumi crate boxes, so I'm booked up now. I've been hanging out to read some new books. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So the changes that I want to make here to my upload schedule. So lately I have been uploading Wednesday, Australian Eastern Standard Time at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and Sunday, same deal, 6 o'clock in the morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's Wednesday and Sunday for me here in Australia, which could translate into a totally different day and time for you wherever you are. But by the time I'm finished and uploaded one video, I pretty much immediately have to start recording another one. Oh, hang on, let me bring that up. Oh, where did it go? Somebody just wrote a message and I couldn't see it. So I need to pretty much start, you know, planning the next video on top of all the other things that I have to do, which is I'm not just a video maker for YouTube. I do tarot readings and I do, one-on-one mentorship, and I do, all sorts of things behind the scenes. So it's not been a very peaceful and enjoyable process of late. So I'm going to drop back from being 2 videos a week to 1 video a week. And I think that I'll prefer to stick with the Sunday date and time, because I can actively be present on Sunday to immediately respond to comments. Whereas during the week, this week I have been for the pendulum video, but next week I won't be able to because I'll be up, I'll be getting my kids ready for school, which means that I'm kind of leaving it hanging there and I'm not interacting with my beautiful community. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Melanie. So I'm sticking with the Sunday Australian Eastern Standard Time, which might end up being like Saturday night sometime your time. Tell me if that's a good time for you anyway. But yeah, so I'm making that change. However, I still will do the extra video once a week if I have an unboxing to do, because I do not want my 1 video a week to be an unboxing. I want it to be something of like just genuine value. And it's not that I don't think that an unboxing has genuine value, because some Moonbox, need I say more? Moonboxes are incredible. The unboxing of a Moonbox always gets me talking about other things, other perspectives and things like that, tools, and it's just such a great prompt for great conversation. And I really do love doing my Moonbox unboxings. But for other things, I think that I love the unboxing portion of it, but I don't know what the takeaway is as a viewer for that. And there's something about filming these last 2 videos that I've done, which is the pendulum video, which, I love divination. I really, really love divination. And pendulums are something that I've worked with for years. I'm not just talking about 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I've worked with the pendulum for a very long time. And I never think that other people are interested in that, because it's been such a standard part of my life for such a long time. And in my head, I'm just like, oh, no one's going to want to hear that, because everybody knows what a pendulum is. But this is like what they call the expert blind spot, isn't it? Not that I'm an expert on anything, folks, but it's like you know something so well and you know it in such a unique way that, and it's such an ingrained part of your life that you believe in your heart that everybody else knows the same thing. And that is not the case. So with that realization comes this, this amazing opportunity for me to create more content that may appeal to more people, because they are just so basic is not the right word. They are just so innate to my practice and essential to my practice. And because I do them over and over again, it's not something that I ever think to share, because I'm like, who's going to want to know that? And my first inkling into that realization was when I created a how to use a charcoal disc video, because wow, I can't exactly tell you what drove me there. It was just a couple of people all at once asked me. And then I decided to put it together, and I thought, no one's going to like this. No one's going to watch this, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I think I'm being asked to create this content, and therefore I will do that. And as it turns out, that video had so many beautiful responses. People privately emailing me going, that was such a great video. I had no idea. And the more I read these comments, and this is what I'm saying, folks, it's so nice to read comments, because it gives me better ideas for you, to create for you. And just all of these comments, it got me thinking. I was like, wow, well, here it was, something that was so common sense. I've used charcoal discs for such a long time, and I have had good experiences with charcoal discs, bad experience. I've refined my usage of charcoal discs to my favorite brands. I have used charcoal discs in all types of environments, super humid, very cold, windy. I can light it in so many different ways. I didn't realize that other people didn't have this experience. And, you know, it just occurred to me, like when I was in my coven up north, we were, you know, a little coven of witches, and I was in my kitchen and we were prepping things and incenses, and everybody just knew how things worked. And it gives you the impression that everyone knows how to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? So somebody had put their charcoal disc right on top of the element of the stove, which is very normal, and another way to light a charcoal disc, super fun. And it was an electric stove, and you know, everything just looked so normal and everything just flowed so naturally. So it gives you the perception, when you spend a lot of time with super duper experienced witches, that everybody knows how to do things. And that's not true at all. And it's very good to be reminded of that, because it allows me to revisit my basics. It allows me to learn new tricks from new witches who are just entering into the wonderful realm of witchcraft and experimenting now with new products and new things, and able to add that value to my life. So why wouldn't I then go and add that value back? I think it's almost like a Skillshare environment now. And so just this opportunity to be able to add value has been something of a realization, a bit of a realization, and something that, you know, I'm really focused on at the moment. So if I'm going to put one video out there on YouTube, I'm going to make it a good quality video, something that is worth sitting down and watching and spending time and perhaps learning something or thinking about something or shifting a perspective or introducing something. Excuse me. Do you know what I mean? So it's an opportunity for me to play around there. And I do want to be able to play around with my video making and my types of videos a lot more, because I want YouTube to be very enjoyable for me. My time is limited. My time in which I can truly share with people is very limited these days, simply because of the nature of my day-to-day life. You know, nothing is unique about me in that way. I mean, I'm just a busy mum. You know, and with my separation from my husband last year, it put me into that single mum status, which means I need to be a lot more organized and, you know, be able to plan more effectively. And so this change that I want to make, in keeping with the Hanged Man and this point of clarity that I've had, is all about planning. It really is about making sure that I'm on top of all of my responsibilities and that I'm spending my time doing worthwhile things, and that's important to me. So what little time I have that I feel like sharing here on YouTube, I want that to mean something. I don't want it to just be like an afterthought. So I'm switching from 2 days a week to 1 day a week, as I've previously stated, explained why, and that is happening this week. So I won't be doing a, do you prefer solid crystal pendulums or a hollow one? You can put herbs and sand in. I prefer a solid tip personally, because the weight is more prominent. Herbs actually don't weigh that much, unfortunately. So I need something to, I need something of a weight for a pendulum to work. And one of my most used pendulums is actually a tumbled stone obsidian pendulum, and it has this beautiful melted Celtic knotwork. I picked this pendulum up when I was living in the Northern Territory and I was doing my Reiki training, and it is an obsidian pendulum. The Celtic knotwork melted onto it, fixed it in place, and onto that is amethyst and clear quartz all along the chain or the link, and the fob is a small ametrine point, and that is the pendulum that I use for all of my spirit work sessions. So for me, that's one of my best pendulums for that. But again, that stays up in my reader's studio, and that has a specific function. When I'm looking to locate lost items and things of that nature, I use my amethyst pendulum, which you would have seen in that video. when I'm doing anything love related, self-love related, love towards my children related, or doing love yes and no readings for other people. Not that I offer that as a service, but I do have a lot of friends who are always asking me love related questions, and so I will use that one. But that's a fairly new one for me. It came in a moon box, I believe. So I was really grateful to have that ability or opportunity to play with a totally different crystal pendulum. And it is a faceted one. It's my only faceted one at this point. I used to have so many different pendulums, but when I moved, I niched right down to the ones that I used the most. That was when I was going through my minimalist phase, and it was a worthwhile decision, but now I don't have very many faceted pendulums, which it is what it is. But I do have a pendulum for everything that I need, put it that way, and that in itself is fun. And the obsidian pendulum, I bought some 15, how old's my daughter? She'll be 11, 12, 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, I bought that obsidian pendulum, and I have used it religiously in that way. So that's been very fun. Moving on, Bonestone stuff, okay? So if you're here for Bonestone stuff, that starts now. So I have been organizing the ship out of some of the replacements that I needed to do. So that's happening most of this week, actually, and that's what's been happening. And that has been really interesting. The post is just such a stressful place at the moment with COVID. Even though Australia is not too strict on COVID, there are still so many countries that we are not allowed to ship to. And so trying to keep up with that has been really effectively quite annoying. However, I'm not complaining in that way, because this is just, it's time consuming, and that's it. It's just time consuming. And with so much going on in the world right now, time consuming is the least of anybody's problems, quite frankly. So I'm trying to be compassionate there. And I'm trying to also not to stress myself out. It's so easy for me these days to just stress myself out. Like, I was off to the accountant this morning, so I was doing Bonestone stuff, and then I had to print out all of this Bonestone paperwork and stuff like that for the accountant, and this was what I was doing yesterday afternoon. And so I got in the car and I drove to my accountant's appointment at 10 o'clock in, on the edge of the city, so it's a big drive for me. So it's almost an hour. Oh no, about 45 minutes. But it's pouring down rain. It's cold. Visibility is shit. The roads are all curvy. So it was a hectic thing getting there, and my father decided to accompany me. And when I got there, I was standing at the door facing it. It was closed, and I was like, what is going on? So when I called, the accountant said, I'm so sorry, somebody misbooked you, and I'm actually in another office today and I can't be there for our appointment. Can we please reschedule? And I was like I almost had a conniption, and then I just kind of had to collect myself, take a couple of deep breaths and collect myself. And I'm like, this is not the worst thing in the world. Right next door, there's a supermarket, and I needed to do shopping. So I thought, well, I've just come a very long way to do shopping. I've come a long way to do shopping, and I'm also shopping in a shopping center that I have never been to before, which is very good for your brain, really good for exercising the synapses of your brain. They say that if you shop in a different supermarket often, it exercises your brain and staves off things like Alzheimer's and things of that nature. I don't know where I read that, but one of those facts that sort of sticks with you. So I try to just breathe through the frustration of it, because one of my big triggers in life is to have my time wasted. I am so busy that any small amount of time that is wasted of mine, I get really triggered by that, and I take it very personally. And it's one way of really, really bringing out the worst in me. And I'm trying to work on that, because patience is in fact a virtue. And by the way, I am a very, very patient person, but there are times where even my patience runs out. Like, I will be the last in a group of 10 people to get really irritated over something, but once I'm there, I'm also the last person to come back from that irritation. So I tend to hold on to things for a really long time, and it's not good for my heart, it's not good for my back, it's not good for my brain, it's not good for any of those parts of my body. So with Bonestone stuff, what I'm doing right now is just going through it, everything slowly, a little bit at a time. And I understand that there are limitations. So I'm really, really looking at things in a much more constructive way. Nothing like they're supposed to waste your time. Right. Am I telling you right? So I'm looking at things in a much more strategic fashion, which means that it is very likely that rather than I do a 10, like a one-off launch of all the decks, that I'll release small amounts of those decks for an extended period of time so that I can make sure to get everybody's decks out to them in a timely fashion and not leave anyone waiting. I want to be able to ship out 10 decks at once. And that to me is a manageable thing. It's also something that I can physically, conceive myself doing. I don't have time to do one whole day of mail outs. It's just not possible with everything that I've got going on. And so I'm looking at ways of doing that. Now, my patrons have approached me very quietly and they have asked if I'm going to give them first option. And I don't even know how to do that, to be perfectly honest. That's as most honest as I can be. I don't know how to just release a small amount to just one lot of people. I don't know how to do that. If it's possible, then I definitely will try, because my patrons are a community that genuinely supports me and everything that I make and do in life. They're there for me and they are really supporting me. And, I want to be able to give them the most that I possibly can in that capacity. But until I understand how I can physically do that, I don't know how I'm going to do that. But if that is an option, then the first option to buy is going to go to my patrons. And I wanted to be very upfront about that, because I think that's necessary. There's a lot of people on the wait list. There are a lot of people wanting me to check the wait list. I'm sorry, folks, I can't check the wait list for you. I can't emphasize this enough. I don't have that time on my hands to be doing those types of things. I barely have time to go through my email. If I had gone through my email early this morning, which I did, by the way, it was a matter of timing, I wouldn't have ended up all the way in town with no appointment. Really, I did check my emails, however, and 10 minutes later they emailed me, but by that stage I was in the car on the way. So that's neither here nor there, but it's all about, for me personally, it's learning how to prioritize, and it's, and I'm trying to do the right thing by everyone, but I can't check the wait list. I can't do that. It means stopping everything else that I'm doing, grabbing my laptop, sitting down here, going in, pressing, but like, it seems like a very small thing, and it is a small thing for one person, but when 150 people are asking you to check the wait list, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to sound rude and unhelpful there. It's just not something that I have the physical time to do, so I cannot do that. And I've done it for one or two people, and then I realized that this error that was happening, a few people were saying that they've put their name down on the wait list, but it won't accept their name. And of the 4 people whose name I checked, or whose emails I checked, all of their emails were on there. They were there. So it's like they didn't receive the, I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but it might be because they didn't receive some kind of confirmation that they were in fact on the wait list. And I was like, oh, is that something behind this? And I checked, and there is a message that is automatically sent out when you do register. So I'm not sure what's happening. And I think that issue is why people are thinking that they can't get on the wait list. And here's another thing. When you put your name on a wait list, it doesn't go on there 50 times. It just goes on there once. So once you've registered once, that's it. It won't accept it anymore. And so of the 4 people that I've checked that did not get any kind of message, automatic message to say that they had been placed on the wait list, their names were on the wait list. So I'm just operating under that confidence that anyone who's put their email address in there is in fact on the list, because there are over 570 names on that list. And just saying. So I'm going to be looking at ways. Subscription did not show or send me the confirmation. I did it twice with different emails because of that. Interesting, yeah. I'm not sure how it's happening behind the scenes, because there have been people that are like, yeah, no, my name's on there. I got the confirmation. So there's confirmations going out, and some people are receiving them and some people aren't. So I don't understand what the difference is between those who do receive it and those who don't. And you know, it's just a mystery. It's a mystery. It's one of those technological mysteries that I just don't understand. And so with Bonestone, like I said, I'll be kind of, the word that I'm looking for is drip feeding it, just so that I can personally stay on top of the workload. And so it's not going to be one day where it's all just like, oh my God, everything's going to go in one day, because I've tried that before and it is so stressful. It is so very, very stressful. And I'm just trying to avoid sort of cognitive overload at this stage. My beautiful friend has been talking to me about cognitive overload and cognitive triggering, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get on this bandwagon because I'm too stressed for one person. Emails went out yet? Sorry for the trouble. No, the emails have not gone out yet. Could have screenshot their email. Could have screenshot. I'm not quite sure what you mean there. Of the 4 that I did screenshot their email to confirm. But again, like I'm saying, there is so many people signing up to the email list that I cannot check every single one of them. Like, I just don't physically have the time. I don't know if, like, it's hard for me to explain this. When I say I don't have the time, I haven't had a day off in 7 weeks, okay? Not one day off in 7 weeks. And there is so much work on my farm that I have to do. I have a pile of laundry piling up. I don't have time to do basic things. It took me 3 days to wash the dishes. When I say that I don't have the time, I don't have the time. And I'm operating on an average of 5 hours sleep, folks. When I say I don't have time, it's not me sounding like an asshole or making excuses. It's because I physically don't have the time. And so let's move past that, because I'm getting triggered by it. It's a very like trickery thing. Okay, I'm a bit like, I'm on edge. I'm a donkey on the edge right now. So with the Bonestones, I am going to start to organize them now that the last of my replacements have gone out, and that's just been a little bit oh, thank you, Carly. The last of those replacements have been put aside to and packaged, and you know, stuff has been printed out. I'll be sending tracking numbers not Monday, but Wednesday. I'll be sending tracking numbers out to those people on the Wednesday, just because over the weekend I've got my baby girl's birthday party going, and then I'm going to be having a much needed day off on Monday, and then I have that's a self-care day, folks. In which I'll still be doing two client readings on that day, but then the rest of the day will be a self-care day. And following that, on Tuesday, I will have my follow-up, not my follow-up, but my accountant's appointment. Oh my gosh, I can't even think today. So I'll be looking at listing the first 10 batches of Bonestone sometime next week. This is not to say that they're going to go up and be on my website, but I'm looking at it over the next couple of weeks just to give you a heads up. And I found a feature on Instagram that was like, oh my God, I didn't know that this even existed. So thank you to those who create valuable YouTube videos about Instagram, because hallelujah, you saved my ass. There is a post on Instagram called Countdown, and if I put a countdown to the day that I'm launching, you can actually hit the little button. This is how it's supposed to work. You can hit the little button and literally ask to be notified, and then day and time of that countdown, the notification is meant to pop up on your phone so that you get that notification. In which case I was like, I could possibly use that as an immediate notification tool. But again, I don't know how it works yet, and before I use it, I need to fully know how it works. So I might try it on a YouTube video first, just to see, and then y'all can give me a little bit of a you know, a bit of a feedback. Oh yes, that's exactly what works. I've never seen one done, so I've never personally signed up to anything like a countdown on Instagram, in which case I don't know what happens on the side of the signee, and I feel like I need to know that if I'm going to use this tool. Does somebody want to create a countdown for something that I can perhaps like get in there on so that I can test it out and see if it's suitable? So maybe I'll use that. And I just wanted to address something here because I feel like it's necessary for me to address it. When I have said that I'll be trying to offer the first option to buy to my patrons, I am not saying that so that people run over and sign up to be a patron. I don't want that to happen over there. Patreon is a very, very close-knit community to me. People there are my tribe. They're my community. And I don't want people signing up for the sheer opportunity to purchase a Bonestone. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that for those who have been there for the last 2 years, supporting me and really encouraging me through the good times and the bad, I feel like they deserve that first option over there. And this is not me saying, hey, if you want to purchase a Bonestone, you have to be a part of that tribe. No, that's not what I'm saying. That space is sacred to me. You know, I have so many beautiful friends from that space, people that I have met in real life, people that I, you know, who watched my dog for me, for instance, when I had the bushfires, and looked after my dog, like on the Tasman Peninsula. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Tasmanian Witch. You know, these are people that are genuinely a part of my life. And so I don't want to create that space for, so hey, if you want to, you know, if you want to be notified first, then, you know, join page. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm simply saying that I feel like it is my duty, my responsibility to my patrons who have been supporting me in so many beautiful, wonderful ways, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, so many beautiful ways. I feel like they should get that little bit of a heads up because it's right. It feels right to do so. So I'm going to be talking to that lot over there shortly to let them know, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. So that requires me to put my thinking caps on. So if you have any ideas, do let me know, folks. And what else? Oh my gosh, there was something else that I wanted to talk to you about. God's sakes. Yes, that's right. So along the themes of I don't have a lot of time to do things at the moment, I am starting to film for Tarot Summer School. I'm an instructor at Tarot Summer School. This will be my fourth year at Tarot Summer School. So I'll be doing another tarot course. So it's how to amp up your tarot practice, and filming and planning and writing for that is happening soon. So again, like, that's a big chunk of my time. I've been approached by 2 other platforms to create courses. I haven't decided because, again, I don't have a lot of time at my disposal. And for Coven, we are finishing up our exploration of Aphrodite, which yesterday I was frantically trying to upload a video. I thought I wasn't going to get it done until Friday because of this computer issue that I had. And it's all about underwear magic. So an underwear spell went up there for Coven yesterday, which was so fun. And that got me to talk about some practices from my own culture as well, which was really exciting. And so there will be a Aphrodite, full-blown Aphrodite ritual next week. A live stream for that. I do believe it's a live stream. And then we are going to be designing our own Coven Wheel of the Year, which is going to take us from April through to June. So this is a massive, massive undertaking, a lot of time, a lot of energy, okay, in creating a brand new wheel, gods and goddesses, alignments, astrology, you name it, it's all going to be in there. So this is a really big component of our Coven, very specific to our Coven. And so that in itself is a massive, big undertaking. So with all of this that I've got going on, it's impacting my ability to create 2 videos a week. So I'm going to drop down to 1 unless I've got an unboxing, in which case, you'll get to see 2, or I do a random live like I am today, and you might get to see 3. But if I can stay on top of it and be very, very kind to myself and make sure that, actually, that reminds me, I saw this thing on Instagram the other day. Tell me if you've seen it. I heard of Squarespace to create your business. Yeah, my website's on Squarespace. What was it? Oh, it was this kind of meme, and it was a split screen, and on one side there was a phone battery and it was all the way down low, and on the other side it was a little, you know, I think it was like a little stick person, gender unknown, a little head drawn, and it was like, I'm totally depleted, you know, that I'm defeated and I'm depleted kind of stance that one can take. And it read, you wouldn't let this happen to your phone battery, so don't let it happen to you. And it was something like that. I am paraphrasing, folks, but for some reason that stuck into my mind, and I was like, holy shit. It's true. I'm plugged in all of the time. If my battery on my phone is less than 42%, that to me is a flat phone. Like, that's a flat battery. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do anything. I can't go, oh my God, where's the phone charger? Where's the phone? I turn into an absolute moron. So that spoke to me in volumes, folks, in volumes. So with that in mind, that being my motivating factor, the visual that I get, I have been much more inclined to just calm the fuck down, really. To just, like, I'm a human being, and I'm pushing myself like I'm some kind of a racehorse. And it means that a lot of things that need to be done get pushed back in order for me to do what I think needs to be done. So organization is actually really critical for me this year. It's one of my key words, planning. And it seems like such a simple word, but, you know, I have my ideas book here. I'm not joking. When I said that it was my keyword, I have my ideas book here. And in here is the entire year's worth of content for my patrons. So in there, along with my courses, along with everything that I need to do, appointments, interviews, art, book stuff, ideas, you name it. And it's kind of like when I worked at a stockbroking firm back in my other life, in my past life. We used to have these things called day books. You may be familiar with them depending on what your profession is, but I've essentially turned that into a day book of sorts. And I've tabbed it up, like it is fully tabbed up. There's so much in there. And I'm almost all the way through. So it's a fantastic resource for me when I'm planning. And then I have my Hobonichi, and then I have a few other journals that I go ahead and I plan, and then I integrate everything with my Google calendars. I have, you know, appointments to do, like next week alone, it's crazy day. I've got hearing appointments for my kids. I have eye appointments for my kids. I have specialist appointments for my kids. That's just during the day, not taking into consideration judo and swimming lessons and all those other things on top of all the work that I have to do and their schooling and their education. So it's just very hectic. It's very hectic at the moment. And so being able to plan everything out like I have been with my videos, like I'll show you. I will show you here what it looks like, just in case anyone actually fucking cares. This is my pendulum video. That was my pendulum video. And it's got everything to what I need in step-by-steps, along with camera angles, B-roll, all of that type of thing. So it's a, you know, it becomes a very great resource for me. And I've got the, I've got grounding and centering, the outline for that video, because I think that's really important. How to activate your psychic and intuitive abilities are in there. And like everything's been placed into this book in such a way. And it's been a really huge and valuable resource to just be able to write that down. And at the start of the year, well, actually, if you rewind the calendar some month ago, like let's say a month back, I was 2 weeks ahead on all of my content creations. And then all it takes is for my kids to come home sick. Oh man, I'm late. Hey, Avalon. Hi, Sandy. How you going? We've had this, it's not COVID, but we've had this other thing happening where at my children's school, 40% of the student body was absent with this illness. And they were homesick. So usually if they're at school, I'll still be creating. I'll be doing the odd reading. I'll be doing an unboxing video. I'll be prepping something. I'll be writing a blog post. I'll be communicating. I'll be doing a live stream, something like that, right? On top of, planning dinners and looking after my puppy. So that hasn't been happening because all of last week my daughter was homesick, and the week before that my other daughter was homesick, and then last Friday my son was homesick. So I was just like, oh my God. Oh, when it rains, it kind of pours. But if I showed you my yard right now, which I'm almost inspired to do so, you'll be like, that's disgraceful. Like, overgrown doesn't quite cut it. And the only person that can do that work is me. I have 28 acres, folks. Who do you think does the mowing? Who do you think does the yard work around here? Who do you think does that? On my little off-grid part of the world, everything falls squarely on my shoulders. So I am busy and I need to be extraordinarily organized. So that is the crux, the great motivator of this particular video, is to let you know what's happening to Bonestone and how I'm going to be doing it. So it's taken me a little while to package everything and print out all of the labels and that type of thing, and you get all the bubble wrap and and all of that type of thing. I really want to show you my yard now. It's like disgraceful. It's so disgraceful. But it's greenery. It's just plants. It's just plants that have gotten way overgrown, like milk thistle that's as tall as I am. Like, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous out there. But we are coming into autumn, and we are in autumn, and as winter approaches, things just stop growing so rapidly, and that is when I can truly get out there and get ahead, because I plan on cutting everything back, and then I plan on using a natural thank you Starlight. I plan on using a natural kind of herbicide kind of thing out there, and I've been looking at recipes that you can make from home, and I'm going to spray it around some of the major walk areas. I've got to replenish rocks and things like that. I've got to fix my driveway. So I've got 1 kilometer of driveway that is all dirt, and whenever it rains, we get really potholy, and it's eating through the tires of my car. The fun of living off-grid, folks. And so I've got piles of rock there that physically need to be shoveled into these holes, and there are so many of them on 1 kilometer stretch of road. Who do you think does that? That's me. I do that work. Yep. If there's a hole that needs to be done, that's me. I do that work. If there's lawns that need to be mowed, that's me. I was out there chopping wood by hand the other day, like massive amounts of wood. I was there chopping it by hand. We have a log splitter, but we had an accident and now it needs to get fixed. But I also need wood for winter, in which case that is up to me to split the timber. So lots to do to prepare for the coming winter. I'm happy to do it. I actually like being outside. I actually like being in nature, but I don't get enough time to do that. And what I need right now is a day of pure, undiluted reading and sleep. Just reading and sleep and just relaxing in my bed and just doing nothing. I don't even know what that looks like. Thank you, lady. Thank you. But yeah, there's not too much variety out here. But the other day we walked out there and had a look, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I've got apricots growing. Like, they just popped up on a little tree. And then we looked around, I'm like, well, what happened to the kiwi fruits? We're supposed to have kiwi, but no, we didn't have kiwi. But we've got a grapevine just absolutely bursting with grapes. And I'm pretty sure, oh, and we found a blueberry bush. We just have a blueberry bush growing in a random spot. So there you go. So it's been really exciting, and the last of my roses is here now, and the jasmine's in full bloom. It loves this time of the year, so I've got to, cut that back. And the wisteria has literally overtaken my life. It's actually growing into my brain now. The wisteria is in my brain. I'm going to take you outside. There's nothing to it. I've got to show you because it is disgraceful, folks. It is absolutely effing disgraceful. Do not judge me. I am one person. Look, that's laundry. I'm not joking when I say I have huge amounts of laundry. Okay. have to take our rubbish to the rubbish tip because we're responsible for our own rubbish. Here, look at this. That's all overgrown. This is all overgrown. This is my pride and joy. This is supposed to be an actual walkway, and you can't see it. And then down there, then all the way over there, it just keeps on going. And then back there, if you can see it all the way over there, it's a lot. And all the way up behind the fence line, which I've got to keep clear as well because it's part of our fire management plan. We get a lot of bushfires down here. So, you coming in, Snow? And so there are things that I have to legally do to keep this property safe and sound. And then my dad, my little sister gave my father a beautiful little weather station. So I was out there a couple of months ago with a crowbar digging into this very solid earth. You can't dig too far. It's not soft soil here. It's just beds of rock. So I'm in there with the crowbar, like just wearing myself out, blisters in my hands kind of business, just to get this copper's log in this hole so I could put this weather station. Long story short, it needed to be, it's dug in deep enough, and we needed to get some rock to fill up the hole to really stabilize it. Just an unfinished job, and I hate unfinished jobs. There is an OCD part of myself. You need a good weed forager handbook. So many good plants. Yeah. Oh my god, it's not as bad as all that. Did I miss the Bonestone announcement? A little bit. You missed a little bit of the announcement. I'm just not staying on topic. Do you know why? Because I haven't written this live stream down in this book. This was like, okay, I need to get some stuff off my chest and do a little bit of a decompression session, as I like to call them in my Coven field. We are doing some pretty exciting stuff over in Coven, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Goats. I've thought about getting livestock, but we have a lot of, we have endangered species on my property. We also have natural flora and fauna like paddy melons and wallabies and things like that. And if you saw in the background, there's a dead wallaby in the middle of our yard that will just stay there and decompose, add its blood and bone to the soil. But my puppy goes ballistic. He is a tiny little Jack Russell Terrier, and he will take down a beast. So I can't have too much else around here. I've thought about sheep. We've got sheep over on my other property that I still own with my ex-husband. That is just, that's another headache. There's sheep over there, and they don't seem to be doing a very good job at all. So what I need is, I need a miracle. Somebody said to me the other day, and this is almost very empowering. I'm a single woman now, and so they said something along the lines of, oh, all you need is a really good man to get in there and do all that work. And I'm like, why? I'm perfectly capable of doing that work myself. If I had more time, it'd already be done. And the way that I said it, it was kind of like I'd slapped this person, and they got that reaction of like, that I slapped him in the face. I'm like, why? I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself, which I fully am. And I'll be out there whippersnipping. I don't ask anyone for help. I'm out there doing the log splitting. I don't ask people for help. I'm out there moving earth, and I don't ask other people for help. I'm just doing it. I just get it done because I'm a woman and I get that shit done. I'm a motivated person and I get that shit done. Do you know what I'm saying, ladies? Gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When it's not about being man or woman or neither, it's about being motivated enough to just get something done. And I am motivated enough to get that kind of thing done. And I think that that's a very empowering mindset to embrace, is that I'm fully capable. I was given this beautiful, beautiful, strong body that has seen far too many potatoes in her lifetime here in Tasmania. And the only cure for this weight that I've suddenly put on is to go out there and work my ass off. And so it's actually good for me. Physically good for me. And while I've been on this, balance your life out kind of, I'll come over and help. Damn straight. Oh, thanks, honey. I'm open to help, don't get me wrong. If somebody wants to come over here and help, I'd be like, oh yeah, while you're here, pick up a, I don't know, a something. Some shears. I need a hedge trimmer. I think that's my next big purchase, is going to be a hedge trimmer, because you saw the hedges, folks. You saw them. I can't be in there with my whippersnippers. Like, that just takes too much time. Time is of the essence. And I don't like to waste my time, so I need the right tools for that kind of business. So you can do anything if you're motivated enough. That's exactly right. It's a huge trigger point for me. Laziness is a big thing. I have this really, I have some shadow when it comes to laziness, and I never ever want to be thought of as lazy. So I burn myself down to the ground. Like, I work myself to the bone, because the last thing I want somebody to say is, oh, no, she's just really lazy. I don't know where it comes from, to be perfectly honest. I haven't dived into that particular shadow, but it is something that I will examine in future, because my darling father said to me the other day, something along the lines of, I'm a workaholic and I work myself too hard, and it's not good for me. And he said it in such a way that didn't make it sound like criticism. He's just like, well, you just need to pay attention to that. Oh, that's good. I'm not by myself on that one. Yeah, it's a huge, like, I have a family. There's a family thing there for me when it comes to laziness. And so I work myself far too hard, and I complicate my life unnecessarily, and I just make myself busy when I don't need to sometimes. And I have friends here, you know, and that's the irony. If a friend of mine says, hey, I really need your help in the yard, can you come and give me help? I'm like, 100%, I'll drop what I'm doing and I'll go over there and help. But I won't ever ask anyone for help. That is a bad thing. That's a bad headspace to be. And, you know, it's something that I have to work on, because I live in the country and everybody helps everybody else in the country. So it's actually astounding. It's a total change of pace. So all of that out of the way, shadows spoken of, I love the tiny house. I love the tiny house too, but I think the tiny house is getting a little bit too tiny for my growing children. So I'm thinking of, I love the idea of a cob house, but my idea of a cob house was somewhat squashed, because in order for me to build a cob house, I'm not going to be able to do it myself. I need to have a registered builder to do it, in which case I'm traditionally building, and the money that I would be saving on building it myself, yeah, it's not going to be money saved at all. And also, you need to do a course. You need to do this very expensive course, like, and register yourself as an owner builder, and then also insure yourself and the property and the build and all that for like $5 million. And so it's basically like, well, you can do this yourself, but you have to spend $10,000 in order to do it. And $10,000 is practically the price of labor. So, that's a fighting word. I'm hearing like lazy. Like, who the fuck you calling lazy, bitch? Like, I'll get in there. I'll get really, really like intense. I have a big sister that hasn't worked a day in her life and is always asking for money, and we don't talk anymore. So that's a thing. That is a massive, massive thing. I'm just like, you know, I consider myself to be a pretty damn good person. And I know that there's one solid certainty, and that is that I'm a parent and I am responsible for my children. No one else is. So I do everything in my power to give them an excellent life, and everything that they need, not want, need. Everything that they need to be well-adjusted young people and grow into well-adjusted adults is what I'm here for. Like, I'm here for that kind of business, 100%. But lately I feel like I haven't been fully present. I've been doing what I need to do, and I've been giving what I need to give. Lunches are made, dinner is sorted, lunchboxes are washed, papers are signed, homework is done, those types of things. I'm fighting screen time. No, you want screen time? You need to do, 20 minutes of reading, and you need to wash your lunchbox, and like little tasks like that, because they're too small to start doing like chores. My son wants to, mow the lawn one of these days, and I'm like, I'm here for it, honey. When you are ready, you and me. And by the way, he's a Taurus like I am. 1 week. His birth, I'm on the 8th, his is on the 15th. So I just know that's going to be my man. Like when he gets a little bit older, he'll be like, Mom, let me get on the ride-on. I'm like, yes, you on the ride-on, me on the whippersnipper, will be great. So lots and lots of things to think about there. Just a lot to organize, a lot to do, a lot to organize. This is kind of like a life update. Wow. I didn't expect the conversation to go in this direction. But are you feeling me, guys? Are you feeling me? Sometimes our life gets so busy, and I will say this, the speed in which our world is insistent on following, like just everything moves so rapidly, and they're trying to fit more hours in the day, more tasks in a day. You know, work morale in traditional workplaces are not great. You know, people are they're struggling. They're struggling mentally. They're struggling within their home life and financially. Like, this is a big deal. When this is something that my father said, and he's 73, right? My father said that when he was a child, that one person in the household working, so let's just say traditionally speaking, the father was working. That was enough to sustain the entire family. And now that it's not the case, unless that father is a brain surgeon and getting the megabucks. It's now no longer financially stable to have just one worker in the household. And so both mother and father now need to work. Children need to go into daycare a lot earlier. Now, I'm not criticizing anyone who does this, by the way, because you do what you got to do, right? You absolutely do. But I find that it's distressing. It's distressing that work wedges a gap between you and your family. It always has. And even though I work for myself, I've allowed work to wedge a gap between me and my family because I'm constantly like doing things while my kids are here and they're asking for my attention, and I'm just like, I just have to do this one thing, honey. I just have to send this one email, and I just have to, and I caught myself the other day doing it, and I'm like, I'm being a terrible mother. That's fucking disgraceful. So I'm doing the right thing by my kids, but I'm also not doing the right thing by my kids by not being 100% present. It's about being mindful. And I bang on about mindfulness quite a bit. I'm not sure if you've noticed. And I'm like, I feel some hypocrisy going on here. And so this week I've tried to organize myself to a point where I can just be with my kids and not do anything else. And, you know, get all my work done when they're not here, of course. They go to school and I get everything done. That's when I'll be sending off my Bonestones and then looking at setting up some other things for Bonestone as well. But yeah, it's just about me trying to change the way in the structure in which I live my life, because like taking it to the max like I usually do is just not a sustainable approach to work. And I want my work to be enjoyable. I want it to feel meaningful. I want to show up for people fresh-faced and bushy-tailed, as they say. You know, I do my readings every Mondays, typically, like I do my client readings, but I have very strict policies on readings as well. If I have a headache and I need to take Panadol or paracetamol or some kind of ibuprofen, I won't do any readings. I don't read under the influence of anything except for my good mood, right? So if I'm not doing any kind of reading on a Monday, then I'll do other things. I'll just you know, change it around. So I've had a pinched nerve in my spine, which has kind of hindered me a little bit. And when you've got something like that that's happened, it makes you more irritable and short-tempered. When I say you, I mean me, okay? I've already got a lot to do and I'm like, enough. And it's you know what? It's such a hangman situation. It's that thing where I don't drop things on the ground. I'm not clumsy like that. I just don't do that. And I've got a pinched nerve in my back and I've dropped about 20 things on the ground and I'm looking at it thinking, I'm mad about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, why? Like, why? I'm looking around going, literally speaking to my spirits, what the fuck? Like, I'm talking to my ancestors going, this is absolute bullshit. You're supposed to be here for me. Like, what's going on? And then I start to think, have I fed my ancestors? Have I lit my candles? No, I haven't lit my ancestor candles for like 4 days. I went out to buy the effing candles. Have I lit my ancestor candles? they're sitting in that little bag over there. And I'm like, oh, so I'm the asshole. It's me doing this to myself. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's all these inconveniences, very, very hanged man sort of stuff. Today has especially been that way. And I find that when hangman comes into play, there's a sacrifice that must be made. And my sacrifice appears to be this stubborn, incessant need to consistently do something all of the time, to accomplish more, to accomplish more, to accomplish more. No. What I need to do is I need to simplify. I need to organize. I need to relax. I need to rest. I need to enjoy my life. I need to enjoy my quality of life. I need to, be with my children. There are things that I absolutely need to do, and yet I don't do them. And I know that it's very common sense to do them, but it's not. I'm watching on Apple TV and it looks fine. Oh. Yes, my oh, not yours. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's somebody having issues watching this. Well, I'm streaming off my phone, bouncing around a little bit. Sorry about that. But everything looks good on my side. Usually I get a notification. So it's all good. It's all good. We don't have great internet in the world. Australia has some of the worst internet in the world as well, which is part of the issue. I mean, actually, this is a question. If you are in another country to that of Australia, answer me this. So one video, let me give you just a little ratio here. So let's say I have a 2.2 gig video. So I upload my videos on YouTube in 1080p. So they're HD, not 4K, 1080p. And, it usually takes me about 58 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes to upload a video, depending on the time, right? I don't understand why it takes so long to upload a video when other people are like, I uploaded a 2 gig video in like 10 minutes. And I'm just like, I need to move. Oh, the video can be anywhere. Usually, let's say maybe between 17 and 27 minutes. I turned off my Wi-Fi and I'm using data. Oh, fantastic, Carrie. How do I consistently see? All messages are visible. Oh, there we go. It was me. Oh, look, I can see all your messages now. Oh. I've noticed that a lot. Witchcraft leaders worry about monetary scarcity. But to be honest with you, I think you have a pretty loyal audience. Oh, yeah. I thank you for that, Aiden. Money is a serious thing in the world, and, it tends to make the world go round, doesn't it? And we can get a little bit topsy-turvy about it. I understand. Neck pain when I started getting shoulder pain and the ultrasound. Oh my gosh, that's too much. Oh my God, your triple earth sign. Oh my gosh. Okay, I get you. I'm in Hawaii and it can take 1.5 to 2 hours to upload my videos sometimes. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. It takes me a while to upload as well, and I live in the US. Oh, okay. I thought it was just me. I live in the country. It was taking 10 hours. Oh, come back. My live chat keeps going away. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think I've just caught up on everyone's live chat. It can also depend on your computer. Well, folks, well. I only ever use new equipment. That sounds wasteful, I know, but I need, because of the software that I run for editing and other things, and I'm also a bit of a tech person. I have a computer science degree, so computers are important to me, and I was just banging on about this last night and talking about how Apple's just, introduced its new upgrades to Final Cut Pro to match their M1 silicon chip and, all of that kind of beautiful stuff, right? And you know, that's the issue, because my MacBook is only a year old, which is not old. Even considering Moore's law, it's not old. So everything was good there, but it was using 112% of my CPU to run Final Cut just suddenly the last 3 weeks. And I have been pushing through and keeping quiet and pushing through and keeping quiet because I'm a patient son of a bitch, right? And yet, no. It started to freeze frame, it started to lag, audio was consistently cutting out, scrubbing was no good. You couldn't ripple edit left or right at all. It was just, I cried. I was so frustrated. A grown woman over a tech issue. This is serious. This is how I make my living. This is how I feed my family. So anything that fucks with that is essentially, you know, an enemy of the state. An enemy of the state of Avalon. Do you know what I mean, though? Be sure you don't save onto your desk. No, I operate off an external solid state drive. So, I know how it's done, folks. I assure you I know what I'm doing. I've been on YouTube for 7 years now. Apparently, I should know what I'm doing. But I don't store anything directly onto my hard drives, so I understand that my driver speed in my solid states are also a big thing. And just quite frankly, it was an issue. And I went into the Mac store, spoke to them there, gave them my epic famous eye roll because I was frustrated, and ended up getting a new MacBook, which is a Pro, which is well above what I need. And no, it's exactly what I need, not above what I need. It's not excessive. It's exactly the tool that I need to do my job. But I was heartbroken to have to part for the cash for that, because it is the month that I have to pay for my children's education at the same time. So I was just like, oh, money really is an issue for everybody, isn't it? It's painful is what it is. But we get there, folks. We get there. The world keeps going around, and everyone, keeps getting over these little hurdles and these little bumps. So yeah, it's a big deal. Why won't my chat stay up? Live chat. Oh, I've had 2 bone ruptured discs. Oh my God, lady. Wow, that is insane. Okay, I refuse to fight. I refuse to fight with the chat. It's not staying up, and I have to keep pressing buttons. I will. I'm just scrolling. Upload time can depend. Yeah. I feel your pain, girl. I've had some nerve thing going on in my upper body. Oh, you know what? I think that the pinched nerve is... Okay, so there are things that we should do that we just don't do, right? For me, it's get a new chair. I sit on a very hard chair when I'm doing my readings, and every time I get up, I have this little impacted kind of little nerve pinchy thing going on that takes days and days to recover. So I know that my chair is no good for me. I know that my chair is doing this to me, and yet, do I go out and buy a new chair? No, I don't. So this one's on me. To be fair, it's not just the chair that does it. I was doing some OCD cleaning, and I did a big, like, those days where you get in there and you really like coat things, and then you scrub until they shine and they gleam and they look like new. Those very satisfying yet time consuming and deeply intense cleaning sessions. Like, I had one of those, and I did something to my back then, and it was bad. And I was holding back the tears because it was hurting so bad, and I had to walk up 2 stairs to get into the pharmacy. And I live in a country town, folks, so God bless all my beautiful neighbors. That's all I'm going to say. God's bless. Whew. So I walk in there and I'm like, I've done something to my back, and I run out of ibuprofen, and and they've given me some medication, like, you need to go and see a chiropractor. And I looked at him and I'm like, I don't have time to do that. And he's like, well, this is what you do. Hot pack, water on your back, all this type of stuff. And the lady behind the counter, I won't divulge her name, I know her from the school. She's like, I just bought this incredible cream. So I'm standing up at the chemist, and she's pulled me off to one side and she's rubbing cream onto my back. And I'm like, I love you so much. Right in the chemist, right in the pharmacy. She's like, oh, darling, darling, darling. And I'm like, thank goodness for really lovely people, hey? And I think we need more of those really, really lovely people in the world. I'll see you later, Jonathan. Thanks for hanging out. I've been seeing your name pop up, but I can't read any of the messages. So thank you for watching, and I hope you're okay. Oh. Spring cleaning. Oh, speaking of kids, I need to go drag my child to the computer. Too much screen time for a 7-year-old. I know how you feel. I have a 7-year-old as well. And he loves his screen time and his Nintendo Switch. And anything else that you put in front of him that's interactive. But he's also a really good Lego guy. So we play a lot of Lego and board games. And you know. So anyway, folks, I think that's enough. This has been a very, very long update. So to recap, I will only be uploading once a week from this week on. So I've uploaded on Wednesday. I'm technically live streaming today, so you do get 2 pieces of content from me this week. But, oh, there's a beautiful little lizard. Or is it a snake? Oh, never know. Yes, so 2 pieces of content only on days or weeks where I have unboxings to do. Probably. He's a Taurus. I don't know what sign your son is, but I think my son, I can't remember the trifecta arrangement of my kids' astrology. I just know that they have Taurus in all of their major 3 positions. So all 3 of my kids, Taurus. But we've got a Libra, we've got a Taurus, we also have a Aries. So, and here's the funny thing. I am a Taurus with a Libra moon and a Scorpio ascendant, and Aries rules my chart. So it's the master of my chart. So I feel like I represent my children perfectly, all of them, astrologically. So we're very connected. And my ex-husband was a Scorpio. So astrologically connected, really, really, really. No, not a snake. It was just a lizard. But we have very beautiful snakes here, I assure you. Not that I would be, willing to pick one up because they're all pretty poisonous. But yeah, just a very beautiful thing. So anyways, I'm derailing my my recap. So won't be uploading regularly twice a week anymore. So I will be sitting with 1 fixed upload per week. It'll happen on a Sunday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And following that, what more? With the Bonestone, I'm going to be drip releasing the Bonestone. It's not going to be a one-off release. The first offer to buy the Bonestone is going to go to my patrons. So if you are a patron of mine, a patron or a member of my Patreon, you will get the first option. You will be notified first. I still don't know how I'm going to do that, but that's going to happen first. And following that, I'll be drip feeding the rest on my website. And yes, Tarot Summer School, Witch's Wheel over on Patreon. Yes, that's about it. I think that was everything that I covered. All right, my beautiful souls. Well, I'll be talking to you again soon, hopefully, with another fun and exciting video. I have a moon box here to unbox at some stage. I think it's a moon box. It's exciting. It is a moon box. I wasn't expecting one. I was not expecting one. But I suppose it's the... Yeah, it's actually... I wasn't expecting one. And I've got some books. Yeah, it's just been a fun time. All right, my beautiful souls. Well, I will talk to you again soon. Look after yourselves. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for your support, your understanding, your kindness, your kind words, your wonderful perspectives, your opinions. I value you. Have you noticed how present I have been in comments lately? Whew, I have been so present and being organized and being very diligent with my work, with my uploads, means that I can, in fact, you know, interact with you in the comments, which is really fun for me as well. So maybe I'll do one of those awesome premiere things. All right, beautiful souls, I'll talk to you again soon. Look after yourselves and bye.